Good evening, Drew.
Hey, Paul Baylor, how we doing?
Oh, not too bad.
Yeah.
Do I sound okay?
Yeah. Yeah, you sound good. What? Why?
Good. No, I replaced my audio interface. I was going to make sure I didn't sound like garbage.
Ooh, what'd you go with?
So I bought the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2.
Oh, that's what I use. The little red boy.
It's a red boy. Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I like it.
Do you use it as your obviously you use it for your XLR interface, but do you also use it as an amp?
I tend not. I mean, I have listened to music on it. I have a shit hell amp sitting right beside it that I tend to use for music. So
right, we should.
It's yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So we should talk about this a little bit because I think
Okay.
if this pandemic has taught us anything, it's the importance of having like good teleconferencing equipment and a good microphone, good audio interface, good headphone amp is really important. Now, the shit hell interface has an extremely Scandinavian name. So why don't you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, all of their stuff, it's like Schitt. Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, they make some high-end stuff. They make some amps that cost the most expensive amp is $1,500, and that doesn't even include the digital audio converter, which those range from $100 to $2,500. So you can spend a lot of money. Well, like all audio equipment, you can spend as much money as you want. But all of their names are kind of cute, and most of them have some sort of Viking or Norse theme. So I just wanted something kind of small. I had two main requirements when I replaced my headphone amp. I had a certain amount of space on my desk that it had to fit in, so it had to be on the smaller side, and it had to have a big chunky knob because I like big chunky knobs.
What's interesting here is that it's been a hot minute since I've looked at their product website, and it looks like now they make gaming-centric DACs and amps, and the hell is classified as that, right?
Yes, because it has a microphone interface as well, so you can plug your gaming your gaming headset into it and control the gain on the mic separately.
Not quite as what you've got for the Scarlett.
No. I mean, and my mic is XLR, right? So it's not gonna it's got big fat cables and literally the world's most obnoxiously big connector.
Right.
But as far as playing music, my loud, angry music, it sounds really good and it looks nice and the knob is terrific. So I highly recommend the shit hell. I had the Fulla before then, and I will not recommend it at all. Not because it doesn't sound good, but at least the version I had. So it's a little, rectangular piece of aluminum, and on the bottom are little rubber pads. Well, you would think that something rectangular would have 4 rubber pads, one on each corner. Well, the Fulla only had 3, which made it unstable, and that bothered the hell out of me.
Yeah, I remember when I was in the market for a new headphone amp, and I didn't buy this one. I'll talk about the one that I had here in a minute and why I don't use it anymore. But I was looking at shit products, and I remember I think the main reason I didn't get one is that they were just consistently sold out. And I have really specific requirements when it comes to what I put on my desk. So I want things on my desk to not look crappy, and I don't want a lot of things on my desk at all. So the shit products being kind of aluminum and metal, they look really nice. They don't feel cheap. They're very well made. Like I think they are probably one of the nicer headphone amps and also DACs that you can get. Now, interesting story here. I remember that I was looking at getting the Jotunheim or however you say it.
Yeah, Jotunheim, I believe. Yeah,
Norway listeners, please, come at me. And this is like right up my alley here because it is advertised as a modular app and DAC, which that's what I need because I need a DAC as an interface for my microphone, but it is also a headphone amp and a preamp. So it kind of does everything, and it looks phenomenal. Like it's metal and it's got everything it needs. It's very minimalistic. It doesn't have a lot of switches on the front. Like, I don't know where the gain even is. It might even be software controlled. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's a wonderful little piece of equipment, but it was sold out. Now, what I didn't understand, and people much smarter than me had to explain, is that the $399 price tag is not what you need here. Because number one, you need to tell it that you want the DAC in it, because it does not have a digital audio interface or digital audio connection built into it. Like, you can't, the base product does not have what you need. You need to add the DAC. And there are different DACs that at a minimum will add $100 to that price tag.
Yes. Yeah.
The other nice thing about ordering from Schiit is that, since they are a worldwide company, you can pretty much order one with the plug of your choice, whatever your persuasion is, if that's America and UK or whatever. I totally,
very true.
I totally would have bought that. And I'm looking at some of the other DACs here. Boy, some of these look really nice.
Yeah, I mean, they have a very kind of minimal, it's all aluminum, I believe. It's all, I mean, it tickles all of my Mac sensibilities.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah.
But none of these, see, like some of these, like if you look at the back of them, like they have XLR out. They don't have XLR in, though.
Yeah, a lot of these, like the XLR for balanced headphones and things. Yeah, but yeah, it depends on what you get.
Yeah, so the Ragnarok 2, which is $1,500, has, it looks like dual channel XLR in. So if you really wanted to make your microphone sound like super great, you could get a dual XLR mic and you could just go crazy. So you have the hell. I do. So do you get a choice of finish, or is it just the red and the black?
It's just the red and the black, which is absolutely fine. And now it looks really nice against my beside my Scarlett, which is the most beautiful shade of red I've ever seen in my life.
It's pretty good, right?
Oh, it's wonderful. Yeah.
And by the way, listeners, Paul's setup not an accident. He knows exactly what he's doing here. Let's be 100% honest with ourselves.
Yeah.
So let's see here. What's the one that I have? Hold on a second. Crap. What do I have? I have a I haven't had it hooked up in so long. Hold on a second. I got to go get it. I have a Prebox S2 digital.
Ooh, that sounds fancy.
Prebox DS. Is it the D? Yeah. Oh, it's an S2 digital. Hang on. S2, not DS2, just S2. Let me find it here. Yeah, it's this one. Oh crap, that's an ad, and I got that blocked. Hold on. It's this. I'm going to put it in the show notes. XML mics. What is that? XLR mics. XML. I did a lot of XML today. That was not a typo.
I'm sorry.
So that is the product I have, and it is a phenomenal little piece of technology. Ooh. It has it can be powered over USB, but it also has a separate 5-volt power, so you can buy like a really clean power supply to keep the audio signal kind of clean. It is solid metal with like a brushed aluminum front. I got the black one. It has all sorts of different settings. It has a very, very delightful OLED screen. It's very nice. It sounds amazing. ... Except on my computer, when it's plugged in, my computer doesn't go to sleep.
Oh.
Yeah,
that's bad.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a bug with the drivers or what, but the screen never goes off when it's plugged in. And it drove me crazy, because I would come downstairs and my monitor would be all lit up, and I'm like, why is this not turning off? So I just started kind of fiddling as one does, and I just happened to unplug all my USB devices except my mouse just to see if it would do it. And when the monitor turned off, I slowly started adding things back, and I just kind of process of elimination. So it's a great little device. I still use it when I'm listening to just music, like if I've got like an iPod or something, because it's got all sorts of great connections, all the best connections, and it's good. I would love to hook it back up because I just love the way it looks. Everybody should have a headphone amp at the minimum.
I mean, it depends on I mean, I really love music, so for me, it's a worthwhile investment. So, yeah. I mean, I like them.
And while we're here, folks, listen to me. Let's just listen. This is Uncle Drew talking to you. Okay, just listen for me for a second, please, do not, under any circumstances, use a gaming headset for work. Okay. At worst, you don't sound nearly as good as you think you do. And number two, nobody wants to see your plastic crap headphones on your webcam for a teleconference. Nobody wants to see that. Be a professional, please. Just go buy AirPods. Go buy a nice Plantronics headset. Like be an adult, please. And this is coming from a person who plays a lot of video games. I understand. I know you walked down the aisle at Best Buy or Walmart or Target and you saw the Razer Kraken wireless headset and you thought to yourself, wow, I bet you that sounds great. And it probably does. It probably sounds really good. But please think of others. Think of others before yourself. Please don't do this.
So you know what, I'm speaking of microphones and, having high, I spend a lot of money on my audio equipment. Like I have a good mic. I enjoy it. I like it. And what I really hate is, in my particular job, sometimes I have to have, conference calls with vendors, a Zoom meeting or GoToMeeting or whatever. And, you know what I hate, Drew? I hate oh, that's a nice mic. You have a podcast or something? And then I go, well, in fact, I do. And then they're like,
turns out. Oh my God! Oh my God! Yeah. Are you? Hold on a second. Well, I'm not comfortable with this. Are you saying you have vendors courting you by listening to your podcast?
Maybe, I don't know.
Oh, that feels scummy.
Actually, usually they don't ask me what my podcast is called. I've only had a couple that go, "Oh, what is it called?" Who seemed. I mean, they're feigning interest. They're not going to listen, but I think most of the time they're like, "Oh, he does have a podcast." Back away slowly.
Yeah.
What you can't see is like, the acoustic foam on my wall. And
see, I don't have that upstairs. When Daddy's at work, teleconferences are handled by the AirPods because I like to dance around a lot unless I'm presenting and I'm sort of like on a conference call where I have to talk sporadically. I like to kind of move around. Keeps the blood moving, keeps me fresh.
Got it.
Yeah. Very, very antsy. Okay. We've got, we don't have a ton of topics this week, but I do have some follow-up from last episode.
About the mouse?
About the mouse.
Or the mice?
Turns out it was one.
One mouse, okay.
We're fairly confident, or we haven't smelled any other ones yet. Okay, so... Okay, so last episode we sort of talked, or I sort of talked about how we had mouse poop in the house. Mouse poop should be outside; it should not be inside. That's where mice should poop. But this mouse was pooping all over my house, and I didn't like that. So I called the fine folks at Orkin, and the nice young man came out and put that bait trap under my sink, and the mouse ate it. Didn't die. He pooped blue for a little while, but we were still finding regular poop after that. So then we had a really angry mouse. So I called him back and I said, listen. Number one, I didn't really think this through. I don't want a mouse to eat something that is going to cause it to die in a place that I can't get to, or is going to cause me to cut holes in things to remove. All right, that's not good for Daddy. And the gentleman on the phone said, we got you. And they said, we can be out there on Friday. So I called them on, I don't remember if I said this or not last podcast, but I called them on a Wednesday and they said, we'll be there on Friday. So they came out on a Friday afternoon. And there was a new Orkin boy who was kind of being trained. And seemed very sure of himself. I really, really liked him. I hope he gets assigned to our house because he was pretty chill. Really nice guy. But they also brought the supervisor, and the supervisor, he said, listen, obviously the bait trap probably wasn't the best one to start with. What he's like, it's not the one I would have started with. So I hope I didn't get anybody in trouble. I wasn't trying to get anybody in trouble here. Okay.
They didn't follow protocol.
Apparently, they went straight to 11. they didn't try to like lure the mouse out of the house. It was like, well, now the mouse is trapped, so we're gonna make it die painfully. And he said, he goes, obviously we like to trap because that way, the mouse gets out with minimal muss and fuss for you, without dying somewhere that you can't get to. And I'm like, you're speaking my language. And he said, well, here's what I'm going to do. First of all, I want to open up that trap, and I want to see how much of the bait that he ate, or they ate, or it ate, or whatever the right pronoun here is. And he opened it up and he took a look, and there was like a little corner nibbled off of it. So he goes, okay, so good news, bad news. One, assuming it's one mouse, he probably ate enough to die. And I'm like, oh. And he said, but doesn't always kill him right away. Sometimes it can take a few days. So I said, okay. And he said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get this out from under your sink, and we're going to put out some regular, oh boy, I'll get to this in a minute, regular mouse traps. And he was going to put one under the sink where the other bait trap used to be. And he was also going to put one in our pantry. Now, Paul, I want you to close your eyes for a minute. I want you to kind of picture the canonical mouse trap. What do you think that looks like?
Well, it's some sort of, I picture a flat piece of wood with some sort of, catchy title, or maybe like a dead mouse like painted onto the wood. And it's got a pretty gnarly spring and a little lever that releases the spring that basically launches a hammer of some sort, like, a bar at the mouse to trap it / break its skull in. Okay. So, okay. Am I close?
That's what a canonical mousetrap looks like. That is not what happened here. In fact, I am trying to hold on. I might actually have a link, because turns out that they probably buy these things from places that I could buy them myself. Hold on a second. I just Piehole's making this hard. Tomcat mouse trap. Okay.
Tomcat. See, exactly. Yes. Some sort of witty. Yeah, Tomcat. I get it.
So this is not exactly what we've got here, but it's pretty close. Okay, hold on. This goes under there. Okay, go ahead and take a look at that real quick.
Hold on. Nope. Come on. Open it, Google.
Okay, so let me take this one.
Oh my goodness! This if your podcast supports chapter art, this is the artwork right now.
Okay, so so this is what we've got here. So what we have here is a. I want you to now, listeners at home. Now that Paul's seen this, I can't ask him to do it. But listeners at home or at work or in your car, actually not in your car, close your eyes, and I want you to picture the giant metal clips that you would put on a thick grouping of paper to hold it together. Okay, that's what this looks like. It looks like a clothespin, and one of those big beefy metal clips had a devil baby, because this thing's really gnarly. Now, again, this isn't exactly what we have, but it's really, really close. So what it is, it looks like a giant clothespin with metal teeth, and there is a spring somewhere in there, and they put bait in the middle of it. The mouse goes in to get it with its face, and then this thing snaps shut on it. And this isn't a spring that traps a mouse. No. This is a spring designed to maim and or kill. Okay, so
yeah, this is
the kill shot of mouse traps. Okay, there's a reason we say we don't build a better mousetrap, because we are at 100% mouse trap here. Now,
so my favorite thing about this particular website is that it's restricted for international sales.
Right. This mousetrap is banned by the Geneva Convention. Like, okay, so. Now, had I been a savvy shopper that wasn't already paying for the fact that we have Orkin for other pests that we don't like, spiders, I would have probably opted for something like, hold on, this website might let me find it. Yeah, like, check this out. This is very similar to what, like, you brought up in the last show, right? Where there are traps designed to capture the mouse, but not necessarily kill the mouse. No?
Mm,
Okay.
glue traps are designed. The glue is not something that you can let go of. So, in my experience with glue traps, the mice get stuck, can't get out, and then you come across them and you see them struggling to breathe, everything glued to the mousetrap, and then you have to kill them.
Okay. So,
At least
okay.
that's my experience. So, I don't think glue traps are humane.
Yeah. Well, but you get my point. There are also products that don't necessarily kill the mouse, just trap the mouse to be released
That's
later,
true.
right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
honestly, if I could go back in time to 2 weeks ago, Drew, and advise him on the correct course of action here, probably would have been the better play. And there's just like everything else, you want to spend money, you can spend money on mouse removal, right? Like there's no Wirecutter article for this, so like I don't know like what the right answer is here, but regardless, those look eerily similar to what the Orkin man put in our house. So this was Friday afternoon. Friday after work, I went to the gym. I came home, then I went to the comic book store and got some more Sandman comics and the next Batman thing I need to read. And I got a shower, told my wife, hey, listen, here's these traps. The Orkin man said they're very sensitive, so like don't slam a cabinet door, don't slam the pantry door because vibration sets these things off. All right. And I was like, please keep Rocky's nose from the pantry. Like that's because like that's the last thing we need. Oh, and then he also put like mouse attracting bait like on the middle, like right in the kill zone, like just where it goes.
Of course, yeah.
And I'll never forget the last thing he said to me before he left. He says to me, they're designed so that when the mouse gets trapped, you just pick up the clip. You take the clip over to the trash, open the clip, and that's where the mouse goes. And I'm like, that makes sense. Okay, so it's Friday night. We didn't have D&D that Friday, so I was reading comics on the couch. It's about 10:30 at night, and I was laying there. I had the windows open. It was a wonderful night, and all of a sudden I hear a snap. Oh. Okay, now. Not uncommon in my house because, like, things we put on shelves in our house, I'm pretty sure my house is haunted, but that's a whole other podcast. Like, stuff like falls off shelves and whatever. So I hear the snap, and I kind of, like, look towards the kitchen, and I'm like, And then, and this is the part I'll never forget, I hear a bunch of this.
Oh,
and then it stops. So I get up calmly. I get about halfway to the kitchen, and then I'm like, I don't want to look. I open the pantry door. Nothing in that trap, which only could mean there's another trap under the sink that might have a little treat in it. So I did what everybody else would do in this situation. I woke my wife up.
Of course.
So I walked in. She was asleep. And I kind of shook her a little bit. I'm like, hey, I think we caught the mouse. And she goes, and she kind of looks at me, right? And she goes, are you sure? And I'm like, well, I heard a noise. And then I heard another noise that I don't normally hear. I think we should go check. So half asleep, my wife being the trooper that she is and used to outdoor things like mice. She grew up in the country. We go out to the kitchen. I hold the dog. That was my job. And we open.
That's a good job.
Yep.
Yeah.
We open the under the sink door. We move a few things out of the way, and sure enough, there is a mouse stuck in that trap, fully enclosed. It bit down and probably broke its back. My wife saw it. She started crying.
Oh.
It was really sad. I felt terrible, not because I woke her up, but because we killed a mouse. She picked up the clip. Total trooper. Remarked that it reminded her of Remy, not where I would have went with it, but hey, whatever. She's doing the work. She's allowed to feel how she feels. She dropped the mouse in the trash, and then we scrubbed the inside of the cabinet
Right.
under the sink, and we have not seen any mouse poop since. The traps remain undisturbed, so I think I can declare victory. But at what cost? I don't feel
Right.
good about it. Again, if I could do it all again, I probably would have put a trap in that would have caught the mouse, and then we could have taken the mouse to, like, I don't know, someplace nice.
A farm upstate.
Yeah, exactly. Someplace nice, where he could go be a mouse. But no, we have snuffed out his life. A candle that is burned out too soon. And I feel really bad about it. Made for a good story, but that's my follow-up for the mouse story.
Wow. A moment of silence for Remy the mouse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I tell you a story, Drew?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay. So it's becoming fall, or it is fall. I don't know. Seasons are complicated. And the temperature is dropping, right? Though my wife likes to push as long as she can before she turns the furnace on.
Jennifer, big same, Jennifer.
Okay. So, but on Monday, I'm colder. I'm wearing like sweatshirts and slippers all the time because I'm just freezing. So Monday morning, I get the nod. She's like, "I'm cold. You can turn the furnace on." So it's that first time of the year, right? You're turning the furnace on for the first time. You're like, I sure hope this thing works. So I turn it on, and I hear it running, and there's definitely air coming out of the vents, but it is not hot. It is a gentle breeze. So I'm like, well, maybe I don't know, maybe the magic needs to recharge a little bit. And so I gave it a little bit, and it's just not producing any hot air at all. So I just, like, all right, it's fine. I'm going to turn everything off, and I'm going to call the furnace folks, and have them come out and take a look at my furnace.
Oh, the furnace boy.
Yeah, the furnace boy. So the furnace boy shows up Wednesday morning, and very nice gentleman, very nice. I take him downstairs where the furnace is, and I'm not going to sit there and watch him. Like, I trust he's not going to like pocket stuff, or he can do his job. I'm not going to babysit him.
These are some nice wrenches. Yoink.
Yeah. And I don't know, maybe 10 minutes later, I hear a little voice from the basement. It's like, Paul, do you have a trash bag or anything?
Always good. And you're like, are we throwing the furnace away? Like,
yeah. So I'm like, that's an odd request to come from the furnace boy. But okay, yeah, I do. In fact, I do have trash bags. I'm an adult. So I go downstairs, and he has removed something from the furnace. I don't know. I assume it's where the furnace gets its, I don't know. It's furnace magic. I don't know. And he goes, "Do you smell that?" And I'm like, I do kind of notice an odd odor. What is that? And he goes, "That's a dead bird."
Okay, so you were barbecuing a bird in your furnace, but how does that stop the hot air from coming out?
So, what had happened is during the spring and or summer, some bird decided it was going to make its home in the my furnace exhaust vent, which didn't have a screen on it. Thank you, home builder. One of the many other things I'll.
NDA.
Yeah. So, some poor mama bird had made a nest in there.
Oh no!
And at some point, that nest kind of worked its way back and fell down into the furnace because he was literally had stuff out and he was pulling straw out of my furnace. And it turned out there were not just one, but two dead birds in my furnace, which is exactly two more than the manufacturer recommended amount of dead birds.
Right. Yeah, I don't think... Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so he unbirded my furnace, cleaned everything up, and it's working like a champ now. But yeah...
Okay, okay. I have questions. Okay, so you didn't notice a smell, but you were only you were only running the furnace a day, right?
Exactly. Like, I'm not in the basement very often. I definitely don't have my nose up to the furnace. I'd only ran it for a couple of hours. But basically, like, what happens, what he says is, like, they fall into the furnace. Apparently this happened. This is a common occurrence. And then they can't get back out. And then they just die in there.
Well, but I guess, and I'm not an HVAC specialist. I married into it. But, like, what... Like, how does that prevent warm air? Is it like there wasn't enough air getting to your furnace or something, or what?
I don't know. I think it was, again, they were in some sort of... The contraption he pulled out vaguely reminded me of, like, a leaf blower, that kind of shape. So I'm guessing it's something that actually, like, pushes the air up and out, or sucks air in. I don't know. I don't know how furnaces work. I just push a button and hot air magically appears in my house.
Right. But but furnaces do kind of have a smell for about a week or so after being off all summer, right? Because that's like the dust being burned off.
The dust burnt. Yeah, exactly. Yep. I didn't notice a odor at all. It was running but not working. Yeah. So yeah, keep birds out of your furnace.
Yeah.
I guess that's the life lesson.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. The furnace guy said that the previous weekend he pulled a dead bat out of somebody's. So,
see, that's way cooler, though.
Yeah.
How metal was that, Paul?
I only had 2 dead birds. And I assume, I don't know, but I saw the straw. I saw the nesting material. At least one of those birds was a baby bird, if not both of them.
That's the circle of life, Paul.
Circle of life. Like, it's very sad.
Birds are born. Birds fall in furnaces. Birds die. I think that's nature.
As the way it's always been, the way it will always be.
Exactly. Since time immemorial. Okay. I have more home adventures to talk about, but I think we'd be remiss this week if we didn't talk about the big kind of tech announcement this week that happened today, and that is AMD is continuing to kick Intel in the ribs and curb stomp them while they are down. I don't know if you saw the news today, but AMD is making it official. They are launching the Zen 3 platform.
I only saw this go past me on Twitter. I have not looked at it at all, so I am a blank slate.
Yeah.
Educate me.
Yeah, so the basic thing is this. Last year, right before the holiday season, they launched the Zen 2 architecture, which is what prompted me to do my whole computer upgrade and put water in my computer like an idiot. And it's been good. It was those processors that came out last year were very critically received. They are very, very good. They are built on a manufacturing process that Intel has aspired to for years, and AMD not only beat them there, but they are eating their lunch in terms of sales and performance for lightly and highly threaded applications. But the one area, like the one thing that Intel could still hold on to, and there's an interesting Venn diagram of these users here that I'll get to in a minute. But the one place where Intel still had like a last bastion of kind of a lead, if you will, over AMD is in gaming. Now, what's interesting here is that Intel purists who are also gamers, that's the Venn diagram I'm referring to, will often point to that to say, see, Intel's still the one you use if you want to build a gaming PC, ignoring the fact that you get faster storage and more bandwidth and generally better chipset features on AMD motherboards these days, but I digress. Faster memory speeds, I can keep going. Intel purists will continue to point there because they would rather die than put something red in their computer like an AMD chip. But anyway, these new processors announced today is now the Zen 3 platform. They are going to be the Ryzen 5000 series of processors. I have a Ryzen 3000 series in my computer right now. They promise to basically put an end to Intel's last bastion of hope of performance in games. Apparently, against current generation Intel processors, AMD is touting a 19% performance increase in single-threaded applications, which most games are designed to run single-threaded. So they are basically saying, look, all you people holding out saying we don't get games, good news. We kind of do. Now, again, at best, this is disingenuous. I appreciate the marketing behind this, but first of all, unless you're playing games at 1080p, your processor is never your bottleneck, like ever. Like I could put my computer up against an Intel that has a higher boost frequency and a higher clock frequency, and at best at 1440p ultra resolution, there's going to be a negligible, if not single-digit frame difference between those two things. Because once you start getting into high detail, high resolution, all the cool features like, NVIDIA's RTX technology and all that like weird, funky, it's basically black magic, really, like machine learning stuff and encoding, all that stuff, like your processor's not doing the work anymore. So it really doesn't matter. So... but they can claim, rightfully now, that even in the last thing where Intel could hold on to and say, see, we're better at games, like they're not even better at that now. It's just, wow. it is remarkable. Now, the reaction to this... Go ahead.
The prices look good too.
Well,
holy crap.
Okay, so
no. Okay, no.
So
no.
If you hang out on subreddits that talk about this kind of stuff, the pricing has not landed well with the enthusiasts because AMD has always been cheaper than the Intel counterpart chips that they're designed to compete against. There is a significant, not huge, but noticeable price bump in these processors over the previous generation. The Ryzen 9 3950X, which is what I have in my computer right now, was about $200 cheaper than the 5950X.
Oh, okay.
Right. And the 5950X is the direct sort of successor to the 3950X, and then the 3900X has the 5900X, which, again, that processor at Micro Center right now, I mean, hell, I'll just check the price right now. Clickety-click. Computer parts, AMD processors. Let's see here. Ryzen 9. Okay, so the 3950 is $679 at Micro Center right now, and the 3900 XT, which is the new one, is $429. So it's a bit of a bump. Nerds aren't happy about that, but listen, these are binned to run much higher than the previous generation. They have a lot of cool features. There's also really good voltage and frequency control, tons and tons of cache, like cache for days, son. Like the level 2 and level 3 cache in these things are pretty ridiculous. Like the level 3 cache on the Ryzen 9s are identical, 64 megs of level 3 cache, which is significant.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's a lot. And then Intel has no answer to this. I think that Rocket Lake, which is Intel's new sort of answer to all of this, before even AMD made this announcement, isn't due until early 2021. So once again, AMD, and these things go on sale in November, by the way. So AMD is going to have 2, 3, maybe even 4 months of market leading kind of tech here. And here's the real good news. You don't have to upgrade your motherboard to upgrade to these chips. They run on the same. It would with the BIOS update, it would work in my computer right now. Like,
wow,
yeah,
that's
same.
That's huge.
Same socket design. Designed to run on the same platform. What's sort of lost in some of these announcements today is apparently there's going to be some new Threadrippers as well. That also look pretty compelling, but I don't think I'm willing to spend the extra money to re-platform and go back to Threadripper. But regardless, I thought this was a really cool announcement. And then AMD is also teasing their next generation graphics cards. After watching NVIDIA flail around with the launch of its 3900 and 3950 or whatever, 3950, 3800, whatever their numbers are, it's not been a good launch. I've sort of given up trying to get one of those. So they're touting what they're calling Big Navi, I think they're calling it.
Yeah.
Which are going to be their new graphics cards. Yeah, Big Navi. And the benchmarks look pretty good. The 3090, which is NVIDIA's flagship, the benchmarks that they showed today at the announcement, this thing is basically competing punch for punch. Most benchmarks, some are not. Right there with the 3080, and the 3080 is a heck of a card, right? And these are all 4K. The benchmarks I'm looking at right now are mostly 4K. But regardless, AMD continues to surprise me. my water cooling escapades aside, like I've been really happy with my AMD system. It's been rock solid. It's been great. I love the PCI 4.0 interface. A lot of cool features. I'm looking forward to these. I will probably look to upgrade around Christmas time, assuming the availability is good. And again, sort of twisting the knife a little bit today, Lisa Su, who is the CEO of AMD, she's awesome. She made a very big point to say, "Oh, we'll have plenty of availability," and not just to sort of reassure the faithful, right? But to also say, "We see you, NVIDIA." Like,
yeah. Well, AMD still has their own fabs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's okay, so they can control. They know they can control all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So before this, AMD could very confidently claim the multi-threaded kind of crown for performance, and now with this, until Intel finally has an answer, they also have the single-threaded crown.
Yeah, man, it's how far the mighty have fallen, man. Yeah. Like, Intel just cannot get their crap together to.
No, and it's really sad. It really is. It is. It's just they kind of just got complacent, right? That's what happens.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm excited. I'm sure once I finally upgrade, I'll probably talk about it some more. But I was just really excited about that today. I'll put some links in the show notes to kind of talk about it.
Yeah.
Whew, man. Oh. Okay. Before I get into my last thing, do you have anything else? I mean, my last thing's kind of lame.
I want to hear about it, Drew.
Okay.
Hit me.
Yeah, so it's the fall, as Paul said.
It is. Mm-hmm.
It's a time of the year where people will plant grass seed, and that's me this year. My lawn has looked really, really bad all year. Not, like, terrible, but not this summer we just got through, but the summer before that, we had a really, really long and hot summer and not a lot of precipitation, and a lot of yards sort of suffered. Yeah. Mine was no exception. And the front of my house is exceptionally shaded. It's really hard to get grass to grow. I have a lot of trees in the front yard with roots that are at the surface, and it's not a hospitable place for grass. So I made the decision this year to sort of like do some research, figure out what I need to do. I went and I bought a bunch of grass seed, bought a spreader, bought some fertilizer, and I like this past Sunday, I just was out there all day. I spent all day seeding and planting, and I've been watering, and it doesn't sound like planting grass is the thing that's supposed to be hard. But man, I hope this works, because I've invested a considerable amount of time and money to make this work. But at the end of the day, it's just one of those things where I really have no idea what I'm doing. And like we have like these locust trees that just have little leaves everywhere. So like I spent a lot of time just raking really small leaves, which is just, boy, you want to feel like what masturbation is supposed to feel like it's that. Like it's like it just swiping and swiping and swiping, and there's just nothing, and it's like it's just.
I think you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, maybe. Just those little leaves don't go anywhere. I guess I need a better rake. But anyway, yeah. And then, like, in the process of doing that, like, large patches of my grass just came up.
That's a bad sign.
A bad sign, right? But hey, it was good, because what you're supposed to do is kind of like tickle your yard, as what one of the YouTube videos said. I thought that was a really good analogy. So kind of like loosen the soil up a little bit, and then I went around and pushed my little cart around. With the grass seed in it, which was blue, which I thought was pretty cool. And then the fertilizer, and then on some of the really bad bald patches, I put down some peat moss, like soil type shit on top of it. And I'm just spraying water in my yard like an idiot, and hoping that grass shows up.
I mean, your grass probably won't show up until spring. But it's good to. I don't know. I don't know anything about grass. I just recite what my grass boy tells me.
You have a grass
that
boy?
It's good to put it down in the fall to have a good,
who's your
crop of grass in the spring.
Who's your grass boy? I want to hire them.
Oh, I don't know. We use True Green, I think. I don't know.
Oh, see,
yeah.
Like no, I don't want to go mainstream. I don't want the Taco Bell of lawn care. Like I want
it could be, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like when we moved into the house, there was a literal parade of people ringing my doorbell trying to sell me some sort of service.
Yeah.
My wife selected the one that she liked. She handles the payment and deals with it. Last fall we had in our our yard is kind of broken into two pieces. The part that they put the sod, they brought sod in and sodded like a good chunk of my yard. And then the back half of it, again, I say my yard is not huge. It's like a third of an acre, maybe a quarter. The back half, they just put down grass seed and straw. And that part did not take at all. So we had the fine grass boys come out and put down some topsoil and grass seed last year. And it came in beautiful this year. Mm. So, but like everyone else, it was an exceedingly tough kind of summer, and we have some. It's not perfect. It's nowhere near like my neighbor's yard is like it's brown. It's in the front. It's just there's no grass. It is just sadness.
Yeah.
Mine's not quite that. That's nowhere near that bad. But there's some. It could be better. But then again, like our water out here is like really expensive, for reasons, and so we are very judicious with the amount of watering we do.
Mm. Yeah, our water's kind of expensive too. I'm surprised how much our water bill is for the two of us and the dog. And prior to seeding my yard, like, you know, we water flowers, right? But like we're not taking 2 showers a day in here. We do the laundry, we take our showers. I mean, I'd probably take less showers than I ever have, because where am I going to go? So like the water bill is still pretty high.
Same. The amount of showers I take now is probably less than it should be.
Yeah. First of all, like lockdown notwithstanding, like who am I trying to impress, right? First of all. Second of all, like, yeah, I just don't go anywhere. And I'm not going to get a shower before I go to the gym. That's just crazy.
That you're just wasting that shower.
Right. I can hear money literally trickling down the drain. So anyway, if this doesn't work, and I thought about it, and I should probably maybe seed some more. So I might be back at the home improvement store this weekend getting some more grass seed and going over it one more time just for good measure. Because, again, I don't have the world's biggest property. So like the 8,000 cubic feet or whatever that this thing covered, I was able to get through all of my yard. So we'll see. I don't know. And if this doesn't work, then I'll have to call Lawn Boy and have them come out and figure out what the hell is going on.
That was, again, this is one of those episodes where I look at the doc, I'm like, are we going to have enough to talk about?
We had enough to talk about.
Here we are. We had enough to talk about.
Yep.
Oh.
I also don't have my car yet. The car.
Oh, I figured you would have brought that up if you did.
Well,
but
car update. The boat's in Baltimore. Maybe my car is. I don't know. No one seems to know.
Neat.
Yeah. It's just,
so it's like the United States Postal Service. They know the package exists.
Well,
and they'll know when it shows up. But in between there, they're like, meh.
Well, actually, no.
Okay.
It's better than the Postal Service, and let me tell you why. There is a boat that is. Hang on. There is a boat. Hold on. There. Oh my god. How do I? Oh boy. Hold on. Hang on.
www. No.
How do I? There's got to be. Oh, here we go. There's a boat that is 72,000 tons.
That's a big boat.
It's a big boat. 72,000 tons. Gross. Wait. No. Gross tonnage 72635. I don't know. It's a lot of tonnage. Okay. It goes all over the world, like AKA places that aren't America, and I can Google that at any time and know where that is. You're telling me we can't do that to postal trucks with packages on it? The only time tracking works on the USPS website is like after you've received your package.
You're not wrong.
I know.
Yeah. But they don't know where your car is.
Well.
Or do they? They just don't know. Is it in?
Well, this boat made 3 stops in America. Technically 4. It made a stop in Texas. It made a stop in Florida for, I think, gas, because like I looked at the map at where it stopped and it was like not a place where like things go off and on a boat. And then it stopped in Jacksonville. No, wait. It stopped in someplace in Georgia. Then it went down to Jacksonville. Then it went to somewhere in Virginia, and now it is in Baltimore. My car is supposed to be unloaded at one of those stops. The tracker on the website that I use for the car went backwards, saying that it is at the port, which is the step before it goes to in transit. So I don't know if this is a software error or like maybe they forgot my car. I'm hoping it's the latter or the former.
Maybe they dropped your car.
Maybe they dropped my car.
They have to get a new one.
Yeah, they hit a rough patch and they had to like start chucking cars overboard. I get it. Like, save yourselves. Yeah. So my dealer boy seems to think. I was really kind of secretly holding out hope, looking at shipping schedules, things I know nothing about, but I'm willing to get upset about with somebody. Seemed to lead me to believe that. So the boat got to Baltimore yesterday. And again, since I am now a shipping expert after having spent all of 2 days researching this, it's a roll-on roll-off ship. Assuming that they start like, I don't know, pushing cars off of it. I don't know how that works. Down ramps and things. There's probably a car. The one that I ordered is probably sitting in a giant parking lot outside of Baltimore, waiting for a truck to pick it up and take it to Cleveland. At which point, they have to get it and prep it and everything. But my hope of hopes was the unloading would be finished today and the ship would have sailed. It has not sailed from Baltimore yet. It is still in the port of Baltimore as of this recording. And that the truck would pick it up tomorrow, get it to the dealership, and I could maybe pick it up Saturday, or go attempt to pick it up Saturday, right? Because I haven't bought it yet. We still need to like figure all that. I got to talk to the sales boy, but
it's only a potential car.
It's yeah, right. It's Schrodinger's car. Like it doesn't exist until I pay money for it. I don't know.
Somebody's going to buy it.
Somebody is going to buy it because it is a really nice car with really nice options. Someone will buy it. I'm hoping it's me. It doesn't have to be me. But I'm first in line because I paid $500 for them to do all this. So I'm hoping that it's going to be me. But yeah, I was hoping that like the guy would say, "Hey, it's on its way here. It'll be arriving at the dealership Friday night. We can get it ready Saturday morning, and you can pick it up Saturday afternoon." Like that would have been probably the best news I would have gotten all week. But that didn't happen. So who knows? Nobody knows. Nobody knows, Paul.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. All right, let's wrap.
Let's do this. This has been, I'm sure they're doing their best. You can find us on the internet at doingtheirbest.com and on Twitter at doingbestpod. You can reach me on Twitter at Paul Baylor. That's Bahler. And where can we find you, Drew?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter at Pittsburgh, Pittfurg.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening.
All right, next time.